Hey there guys, what's going on? I am back for the second episode of the 2030 challenge, where I have decided who we are going to manage in this futuristic, regenerated world where everything is scarily different to how it is now. I've deliberately sort of started on the start screen so that I can sort of make it a big thing, just to sort of keep the suspense of you guys not yet knowing who I am going to be managing. But it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, let me put it that way. I'm just going to pan now to the next screen, which will show me at my new club. Yeah, I didn't think it would come as too much of a shock. I've decided to go with my heart and go with the team that I support, Aston Villa, who are struggling in the Championship at the moment. If we have a look at their history since the start of the game, it would be the 2014-15 season. They managed a very respectable 8th place finish under Paul Lambert. How different is that to what we can see today? I'm recording this the day after he was sacked, so FM is just a crazy, crazy simulation. We then finished 15th in the next season, managed to rise up to 11th for the season after, but then was the turning point. Relegation in 2017-18, finished first on the first season back, finished 9th in our first season back in the Premier League, and then sort of stagnated towards the lower end of the table ever since, getting relegated again in 2027 and not as of yet coming back up. We finished 4th last season, and I believe we were beaten in the playoff final. It was Plymouth who were promoted, so we would have met them in the final. If I just look at Villa's fixtures for last season, yes, indeed, we beat Leicester 5-1 in the semi-final on aggregate, of course. And then we played Plymouth and we got absolutely destroyed, 3-1. So that sees Plymouth go up, 90,000 Plymouth and Villa fans at Wembley Stadium. Plymouth must have gained a hell of a lot of fans. Vince Bull was playing. I think he's quite a young player. Surprising that he would have been in the playoff final, but hey ho, I guess. So he actually got injured straight after scoring his goal, which was maybe a bit of a bad omen. But nevertheless, we've got that heartbreak to contend with. The lads obviously would have been pretty downbeat after that, but I think that I've managed to pick them up since then. I've had a little chat with the squad, done pre-season, got the players and staff in that I think I need to challenge for promotion, because that is definitely the aim with this club. I don't want to sound like a deluded supporter, but we are too big a club to be in the Championship. It's like when Newcastle were in the Championship, or West Ham. Just teams that don't really belong down there. And it's my aim, certainly this season, to go up automatically. If we look at general sort of information then, I think our reputation has dropped by half a star since the start of the game, which isn't too bad. Rivals you'll probably be aware of, Birmingham, West Brom, sort of the main rivals. Wolves, I'd class them as more fierce rivals. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But Coventry also minor rivals, although I think I'm too young to have ever sort of witnessed a Villa Coventry game in the Prem. I think the last time Coventry were in the Prem, I must have been about 3 or 4, so I haven't really witnessed that rivalry so much, but the other 3 are definitely rivalries that I've grown up with, and we'll be meeting Birmingham and Wolves in the Championship this season, so they are going to be fantastic games to play in the future. The facilities obviously are very good for a club like Villa. You'd expect good training facilities, great training facilities in fact, with excellent youth. So if we can get a good head of youth development in, which I'm fairly sure I have at this point, then we can really rake in some top youth talent in our intakes. This is the head of youth development I've gone for. Not the best reputation, so maybe won't be that adept at bringing in good talent, but you can bet that he will know what he's doing when he's bringing in these talents. His judging of player potential is on point, as well as his ability, to be honest. 19 ability, 20 potential. Those are key stats for a head of youth development, so I'm glad I've got him in. Team training at the moment, after pre-season, has finished now. The focus beforehand was fitness on high. This time I've gone for attacking. I always seem to do this. It seems to make my teams play better, so I've just stuck with it. Especially since we're one of the favourites to go up. I think focusing on attacking is probably a good move, so we can put some of these teams to bed as early as we can in matches. In terms of individual training, we've just got them on their sort of player roles. So we've got defenders on central defender, defend, fullbacks on wing back. Most strikers are on false 9 or advanced forward. As you can see, their stats are improving quite a lot already, which is encouraging to see. I think it might be worth showing you guys some of the players here at this club. It seems like the best player at the moment is Damian Martinez Gonzalez. He's a natural in both central midfield and centre forward. I'm going to be deploying him as a deep lying playmaker, and as you can see, very, very good technical stats. He's just an absolutely quality player for championship level. I believe the assistant report, does indeed say that he's a good player for most Premier League sides. I think most of these 4-star players are also good players for most Premier League sides. Dejan Antonek, another midfielder, is another sort of playmaker type player, but I think he's got decent physicals as well, and I think it might be worth deploying him as a box-to-box in my tactic, which I'll show you in a sec. The box-to-box midfielder is kind of a big constituent in that. Greg Nichols is our best striker. He's an advanced forward, incredibly good mentals. I mean, at the age of 31, you could probably expect that. And do I spy a few wrinkles on that regenerated face of his? That shows you the realism of the game, really, that the players can grow old. 65k a week in the Championship is absolutely sickening, though. So if we don't go up, I think we're going to have to get rid of some of these high earners, which will seriously set us back because most of them are out of contract anyway at the end of the season. So at the moment, I'm not tying them down to a new deal. But if it gets to the point where it's January and clubs can start snapping these players up on a free, then I've got some decisions to make. His report, again, is a good Premier League player for most sides. And as you can see, the fans have an affinity towards him. So it would be an extremely poor decision, you'd think, to let him go, but we might not have a choice at the end of the day. Okay, so this is the starting tactic that I'm going to be going with for the rest of the season, and you're probably thinking, what on God's green earth is that monstrosity? And I'd have to sympathise with you on that, to be honest, because it's a very strange formation. But nevertheless, I think it's nice and solid, as much as it doesn't really look like that. We've got the wing-back who is a bit more exposed on a defensive duty, so he's more likely to track back, more likely to sort of stay in his position. The ball-winning midfielder is also on the same side as the wing-back on defend, so we've got some solidity on the right-hand side, despite the fact that there's no sort of wide man on the right to protect the wing-back. We've got a midfield free, so we can sort of control the midfield. A standard back four, so we're not sort of as leaky as we could be. And we have the opportunity to play one of our best players out wide on the left as well. So I think it's a tactic that somehow suits the players we have at our disposal. I'm just going to take you through what I think is the best sort of 11 for this club in this tactic, just to give you an idea of some of the players that we've got at our disposal. As we said, most of these guys are Premier League quality players. We've got Remy Osborne, who is our goalkeeper with good handling, decisions and positioning. At sort of 15, 14 and 16, they are all you need for a Championship club, to be honest. So very happy with this guy. Rob Atkinson is our left back. He's a good very good all-round start. So you can see a lot of 11s, 12s, 13s, which are pretty good for the Championship. In fact, he is a good player for most Premier League sides. The fans have a great affinity, etc., etc. Now, this guy is an actual real player. He sort of has the dead-eyed look of Neil from the In-Betweeners on my face pack, but his marking and his mentals, despite his sort of vacant facial expression there, very desirable, with 19 positioning, 20 marking, 18 concentration, 19 anticipation. Those are fantastic stats for a defender. Tackling lets him down a lot, but at the Championship level, it's not too bad, and he'll be a great tutor for up-and-coming defenders. Probably our best defender is Carlos Marti. Again, probably a Premier League quality player, to be honest. Brilliant physicals, 17 marking, 14 tackling, 14 heading. again, that's more than enough to survive in the Championship and push on for promotion. Starting right back will be Lucas Koronek. Again, physicals, mentals on point really, and core defensive technicals as well. Pretty decent. Obviously, heading not as important if you're a sort of fullback. In midfield, we've got Kareem Sadler. He's a younger player, but at the same time, I think he's got a very bright future. Just try and probably get his marking up a little bit, because he does seem to be a pretty good ball-winning midfielder with his strength, his determination. Not so much aggression or bravery, but good tackling. If I can just get his marking up, I think he'll be very good deployed in this team. Antelak, Martinez Gonzalez, you've already seen. We've got Chris White, who is a winger. Getting to the end of his career now at 31. His contract is to expire as well, so he's another one of those who I'm seriously starting to worry about their contract situation. But nevertheless, pretty good player, to be honest, at this level. This guy was signed sort of before I joined from Ludogorets, Ivan Slavkov. He looks pretty decent, to be honest. You can play in either advanced forward or false nine fairly well, which is sort of the striking roles that I'm going to be looking to deploy him in. He's worth 9.5 million, so he's clearly a very good player. Normally the value on FM doesn't lie too much, but yeah, with 17 appearances and 2 goals for Bulgaria, he's a fairly well-established international player as well. I think I've already shown you this guy, Greg Nichols, brilliant player. Hopefully if we can keep him injury-free, we can have a very, very good season. Anyway, you're familiar with the players, tactics, everything that really went on behind the scenes. In terms of transfers, nothing really to report, to be honest. I let go of quite a lot of youth players, sent a few youth players out on loan. Johnny Byrne, this guy was sold to Stoke. That's a bit worrying, actually. Obviously a very good player, but the previous manager couldn't hold on to him, which is a shame. But we bought in Slavkov, like I mentioned, and a few defenders, actually, because we badly need defenders after selling Johnny Byrne. Radek Holub being one of them, on loan from Club Bruges. These are just sort of gap fillers, so they don't really have too much of a future at the club, but as you can see, their core defensive stats are all very, very good. Paul Cream is there on loan from Genk, and a guy on loan from Liverpool, Tony Hamichi. Again, good enough for the Championship at the moment. So that's all we're looking for, sort of a short-term solution to the lack of defensive cover. Anyway, we are about to kick off our season in the Championship. We are playing Norwich at home for the first game, and as you can see from the season preview, it's just about the toughest game we could have had, because Norwich are predicted to finish second. They're joint with Swansea and Sheffield Wednesday, 5-2 on for promotion. Us and Peterborough are 3-1. So it's going to be tricky to topple any of those three teams, but I think we have the quality to do it. Alright then, the team that I've gone for the first game of the Championship season is pretty much our strongest team. I've shown you all the players before, so you're already very familiar with them. So with this weird formation, we'll get, actually look, Patrick Vanguard is not much fit in the slightest. Let's give him a little swap for Hamichi. That's probably wise, to be honest. Let's actually get into the game now. So Villa against Norwich, a potential promotion battle, is kicking off at the same time as every other game. Fair enough, I guess. I would have liked for that to have been on TV so he could get a bit more money. But what can you do? Let's get into the game with our weird morphed 4-4-2, which, to be honest, I was talking to the Big Genko Sports, cheers for the shout out, mate, saying that it could either be a train wreck or the most successful tactic I've ever created. And he predicted that it would be a successful train wreck, something like that. I can't wait to see what the hell he means by that. Nevertheless, let's kick off here. Nichols passes it to Slavkov, and we're away. Martinez Gonzalez laying it off to White. Can we go on the attack straight away? Probably not. It's probably a bit unrealistic to suggest that we can. We're less than a minute in though. Nichols has a corner. That's well dealt with by the Norwich defence. What can Slavkov? Oh my days. Oh dear, that was close. But we're on the attack again now with Nichols. Is he going to whip it in? Yes, he is. Now he finds Slavkov and it's another corner. Come on, we're all over them here. Nichols whipping it in. And that's dealt with. He puts it back in and there's a scramble and nothing really comes of it. Yeah, nothing much is happening now. Which, yeah, we've entered a bit of a lull in the game. Maybe I should complain about the lack of action more often because it's brought us a highlight here. Slavkov finds White. Good reaction save from Hajek. It's been all Villa in this game so far. But we need to make this count now. Nichols has just let the ball run out of play like an absolute boiled egg. Nevertheless, White bringing in the throw. And it's Martinez Gonzalez who's on a yellow card, worryingly. It's Antelek. Marty, let's build it. Let's build it nicely. Come on, Nichols. It's a penalty, surely! Come on! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We all know what can happen on FM. We can't miss penalties. It's going to be Nichols, I believe, who won the penalty to take the penalty, and Zlatar has been sent off. So if we can get the penalty, if we can convert this, then we've established a brilliant foothold in this game to kick on in the second half and maybe win by a few more goals. Nichols clearly just checking his Instagram before he steps up to take the penalty. And now he steps up and it's buried in the bottom left corner to make it 1-0 to Villa. Greg Nichols, the club legend, scores for Aston Villa. And let's have a look at a 3D replay of the penalty, provided that it doesn't lag like an absolute motherfucker. Nichols steps up, cool as you like, sent the keeper. Well, he went the right way, to be fair. I don't know what I'm saying. But, crap, there's another highlight straight from kickoff. You're most vulnerable when you've just scored, as the old FIFA adage went. But hopefully that doesn't prove the case here. Oh, well won by Martinez Gonzalez, who I'm eternally worried about, considering how early he picked up that yellow card. Now it's Antelek, and that's... Oh, shit, no. No. Good save from Osborne, though. Marty with a good tackle. Jesus Christ, lads. Now it's all Norwich for some reason. John Ruddy is somehow now an outfield player, which is slightly worrying. Norwich again launching something here. Marty cuts it out, and now Slavkov. Can we set up a counter? No, because that ball was shit. Sadler, Antelek, Slavkov. Come on, send him through. Nichols. Oh, he's hit the post. Come on. Why are we so ragged all of a sudden? We need to put these to bed now that we've got the man advantage. We've played well so far, boys, but there is still a lot of room for improvement. I'm going to put my mind at ease considerably here and take Martinez Gonzalez off. He's probably our best player, but I'm just a bit paranoid that he's going to get himself sent off. We need to retain this man advantage because Norwich arguably were the favourites going into this game. Okay, we're going to make another change on 60 minutes. In my opinion, Slavkov has not had a very good game. I'm going to bring on Barry Howard, who is one of our youth prospects. He's got brilliant potential. Let's see what he can show us here. I may consider swapping the strikers too, just to make the attack a little bit more unpredictable. There we go. Barry Howard with the younger legs, fresher legs, can maybe use his pace a bit more as an advance forward than maybe Greg Nichols, who is getting on a bit. Clark's just winding down now, and we still have this slender advantage over Norwich. We're not really creating too much. Well, if we do get this win, which it looks like we will, it's a decent 3 points, although maybe, not the most convincing performance because we've created nothing in the second half as Barry Howard, the young prospect, gets an injury right at the death. That's not what you want to see, really. Let's hope that doesn't hamper his career. Pavel Savitsky, also the wonder kid of days gone by, coming on. Surely now this is the final whistle because it's been 2 minutes over sort of added time. Don't give it John Ruddy. Savitsky, Antelek to Nichols, and that's cut out. Just collect this, Osborne. That's it, ref. Get in. Crucial promotion battle. won today. That's not a bad start to the season in anyone's book. I'm very happy with that. We were helped by the sending off, for sure, and the penalty. But you can only beat what's put in front of you, eh? And we have taken 3 crucial points towards promotion, you may say, in this match today. So, it turns out the tactic isn't terrible. It isn't an absolute train wreck. Not yet, anyway. So, that's encouraging. And that is it for this episode, guys. Take care, and I'll see you for the next game, whenever that may well be. We'll just have to see. Probably around the 10-game mark, to be honest, unless we get a good draw in the Capital One Cup. I've been rambling for too long now. This has been a long video. I'm going to let you guys go. Take care, and I'll see you next time.